Now, long before the Space Needle, Seattle actually had another tower, and it actually held the title for Seattle's tallest building from 1914 until 1962, and that is the Smith Tower, or as I like to call it, the Giraffe Building, because the first time I ever saw it coming out of King Street Station, I thought it looked a lot like a giraffe. Obviously, let me know in the comments section, do you see it or do you not? But when I say the Smith Tower is probably a top 3 most beautiful building in Seattle for me, at 38 stories tall, I think it's pretty easy to see why. I've been obsessed with this for a while. The Smith Tower was an absolute engineering marvel when it opened in 1914. It was the tallest building in the entire United States outside of New York City, and the 3rd tallest office building in the entire world. And 38 stories was absolutely unheard of on the West Coast in 1914. And inside, some of the craftsmanship is absolutely breathtaking. Like, how beautiful is this elevator? Like, some parts are actually made of real gold that I can see myself in. But it gets even better. At the very top, there is a restaurant, which I actually did not know existed before coming in. And when you step outside of the viewing platform, it gets even better. From a view of the Dexter Horton building facing north, or right down 2nd Street, which, believe it or not, you actually used to be able to see the Space Needle from here only a couple decades ago. The Seattle waterfront sparkling in the afternoon sun, the Great Wheel, and the cruise ship terminal off in the distance, the Seattle ferries coming and going at the terminal, and a massive cargo vessel heading for the port of Seattle. I still find it absolutely fascinating that these things move and they float. And directly below that sits Pioneer Square, which is actually the first ever neighborhood in Seattle. And finally, looking south, you'll find one of my favorite views in the city, Union Station and King Street Station. This is also one of those views that really hasn't changed much since the Smith Tower opened over a century ago. Although, I gotta say, it would be nice to see long-distance trains running out of Union Station again, but I'm just happy to have them around. I mean, this is just so cool. This is literally the original skyscraper in Seattle, and a view over Pioneer Square down there, old train yards, the rail yards that made way for Lumen Field and T-Mobile Park, and pretty much everything down there because of the railways. And in my opinion, one of the most sexy buildings in all of Seattle is right up here. For 25 bucks too, what an absolute steal to get some phenomenal views over the city. Now, if you do have a few extra dollars kicking around in your piggy bank, there is a penthouse loft apartment on the top floor that is currently vacant and renting for about $17,000 a month. Now, assuming that you don't have that kind of money, the Smith Tower does sell these really cool postcards for a few bucks less. And I absolutely love picking up postcards and writing them to some important people in my life. Anytime I travel, like to my mom, just let her know that, hey, I love you very much, I miss you, and I wish you could be here to see this. But I would love to know, the Space Needle, the Smith Tower, or the Columbia Center, what is Seattle's greatest tower? Please let me know in the comment section below.